Number 10. Scott Disick, Kourtney Kardashian, and Sofia Richie. Scott and Kourtney's decade-long romance was very well documented on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and although fans loved Scott's quick-witted, snarky humor, it was obvious that he had some trouble remaining committed to Kourtney. The couple were on and off again for years and had 3 kids together, Mason, Penelope, and Rain. But around 2015 it was done for good, and Scott moved on with a much younger Sofia. But the whole family was against them, including Kendall, who commented some shady stuff about them on an IG post, and even Sophia's dad, Lionel Richie. Despite this drama, they stayed together for nearly 3 years, and she was even on the show at one point. It was an awkward mess because Scott was still co-parenting with Kourtney, all while dating Sofia, who was only 18 at the time and had been a family friend for years. Fans thought the whole thing came off as kinda creepy. Number 9. Ed Sheeran, Ellie Goulding, and Niall Horan. This love triangle is a total whirlwind and was extremely chaotic at the time. Ellie and Ed went from casually dating to almost being a certified couple in 2013. But upon meeting Niall, Ellie was allegedly so taken with the One Direction singer that she ended up cheating on Ed. They managed to keep everything quiet until Ed released his 2014 single, Don't, which accused Ellie of that exact thing. Fans were very quick to put the pieces together, especially because the lyrics take a deep dive into the whole story, even describing the moment where Ellie admitted to sleeping with Niall and started begging Ed for forgiveness, and how he never saw it coming because he didn't perceive Niall as a threat. Later in interviews, Ed said the song was about a time when someone he was seeing hooked up with one of his friends when they were all staying in the same hotel. Although no names were mentioned, fans were easily able to put the pieces together and realize just how crazy the story was. Number 8. Pete Davidson, Ariana Grande, and Cassie David. Pete and Cassie dated for 2 years from 2016 to 2018. The SNL star and actress, who just happened to be Larry David's daughter, seemed like a great match and a cute couple until Pete got engaged to Ariana exactly a month after his breakup with Cassie. Now, the timing is a bit suspicious, with the quick engagement taking everyone by surprise, including Cassie herself. To make matters worse, the romance between Pete and Ariana was very public and became the most talked about celebrity couple of the summer 2018, melting hearts worldwide with their adorable social media love fest. Pete and Ariana split after a while, with Ariana releasing Thank You Next in 2019 to document the breakup and her commitment to herself. While no words regarding the timeline were exchanged in any public forum, it was assumed that things got a little messy behind the scenes of this love triangle.
And at number 7 is Hilary Duff, Aaron Carter, and Lindsay Lohan. This one hits me right in the feels because it was some serious hot tea back in the days. Let's rewind back to the young love when Aaron and Hilary started dating in 2001 after working together on the Disney show Lizzie McGuire. They were together for over a year and a half, but Aaron apparently became bored and wanted to date 2 girls at one time, as teenage boys do. He had eyes for another young star, Lindsay Lohan. Aaron told the story to Complex, saying, I quote, I started dating Hilary on my 13th birthday. I was dating her for like a year and a half, and then I just got a little bored, so I went and I started getting to know Lindsay, dating Lindsay. Ultimately, this of course caused some Disney feuding between the 2 ladies. Hilary later told Allure magazine that it was a complicated love triangle and said, it made us both look bad and put up a big weirdness. Lindsay added more fuel to the fire by staging a sketch on Saturday Night Live that mocked the rival between them, but Hilary did not find it so funny and commented on it saying, I do not think it's an honor to be made fun of on Saturday Night Live. I mean, maybe not for a reason like this one. 13-year-old heartbreak is no joke.
Number 6. Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, and Angelina Jolie. Jen and Brad got married in 2000 in a lavish Malibu wedding, and things were perfect for the Hollywood it couple until they decided to announce their divorce in 2005. In walks Angelina, who met Brad for the first time on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The movie was filled with romantic tension, and it's easy to see how Brad fell in love with Angelina, but the problem was that he was still married to Jen. They allegedly still got together despite his marriage because, hey, don't let your wife stop you from finding the love of your life, or so the saying goes. But interestingly enough, Brad and Angelina's relationship wasn't just a fling, and they actually went on to date for many years and had a large family before finally getting married in 2014. The love triangle was one of the biggest scandals in the early 2000s and still dominates the tabloids to this day.
We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Sophia Bush, Chad Michael Murray, and Paris Hilton. Now, Chad Michael Murray is one fine man, okay? Let me just say that. And I did not know that he got together with Paris Hilton. Okay, I don't know, I just can't picture them together, you know? But I guess opposites attract. One Tree Hill stars Sophia and Chad ended up having chemistry on and off screen. In December of 2005, they actually got married, but the marriage was very short-lived. 5 months later, they separated. And apparently, Chad was spotted with Paris Hilton. Now, this is where it gets messy. So at the time the two allegedly got together, Paris was dating Nick Carter. Nick's younger brother, Aaron Carter, eventually spilled the tea, saying that Paris cheated on his brother with Chad Michael Murray. So they both cheated on their partners. A year later, Sophia and Chad filed for divorce.
Number 4. Bella Hadid, The Weeknd, and Selena Gomez. Arguably one of the biggest love triangles of the 2010s, Bella Hadid, The Weeknd, and Selena Gomez's saga isn't one we're likely to forget anytime soon. After dating for 18 months, Hadid and The Weeknd split up in November 2016. Just 2 months later, the singer was photographed making out with Selena Gomez, and both Hadid and Gomez unfollowed each other, with the act sparking something of an on-again, off-again Instagram feud between them. About a year later, their relationship came to an end and Gomez was seen kissing her former flame, Justin Bieber, shortly afterwards.
Alright guys, at number 3 is Kylie Jenner, Tyga, and Blac Chyna. This has probably been the biggest love triangle of today's generation. Millennials were dying over this and they just can't. So Tyga and Blac Chyna started dating back in 2011 and they had their son in 2012, just a couple months before they got engaged. They dated for more than 2 years until Tyga started hanging out with Kylie in 2014. Tyga and Chyna called off their engagement in August later that year after Tyga was appearing all over Kylie's Instagrams, which at the time they were claiming to be just friends. The two girls began to feud through social media, taking shots at each other, which led to Chyna posting text message screenshots that showed Tyga was actually trying to date both of them at the same time. Kylie claimed that the texts were fake and went on to date Tyga regardless of the feud. They continued to date and Chyna shocked both of them when she started to date Kylie's older brother, Rob Kardashian. Talk about the ultimate revenge. Luckily, all the drama is over now, and neither couple ended up staying together.
Number 2. John Mulaney, Olivia Munn, and Anne-Marie Tendler. In early September, amid questions about the timeline of John Mulaney's romance with Olivia Munn, the comedian's ex-wife Anne-Marie Tendler reportedly knew that he was doing things with other women before he went to rehab, and before they ended their marriage in 2020. It wasn't entirely clear when his relationship with Olivia started, but it appeared that John was going to great lengths to dispute the idea that he cheated. Anne-Marie divorced from comedian Mulaney after 6 years of marriage. In a statement at the time, the artist said, quote, "I am heartbroken that John has decided to end our marriage. I wish him support and success as he continues his recovery." 1 week later, the news broke that Mulaney had started dating actress Olivia Munn, and less than 2 months later, it was confirmed that Munn was pregnant with her and Mulaney's first child. Whether or not there was any overlap between the two women is still very uncertain. And coming in at number 1, get ready for it, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, and Joshua Bassett. It seemed like the internet exploded when Olivia released her number 1 single, Driver's License, and fans were quick to connect it to her High School Musical, The Musical co-star Joshua Bassett. The heartbreaking, emotional roller coaster of a song talks about the love triangle between herself, Joshua, and Sabrina Carpenter. As the lyrics implied, she was mourning a breakup that had a huge effect on her, and things got super intense when fans discovered Joshua was dating Sabrina because of the not-so-subtle reference in her song where Rodrigo mentioned a blonde girl who was much older than her. It was then that people jumped on the hate train against Sabrina, calling her a homewrecker and just about every insult under the sun. To make matters worse, Sabrina released a song called Skin to defend herself from Rodrigo's claims and tell her side of the story. Unfortunately, that didn't go down well with fans and it only served to create more drama in the triangle.
Starting off this countdown, we have Meg Ryan, Dennis Quaid, and Russell Crowe. Meg Ryan was married to Dennis Quaid for 9 years until she decided to cheat on him with Russell Crowe. This happened while filming the movie Proof of Life with Russell in Ecuador. Somehow, news got out about Ryan and Crowe, and Quaid soon filed for divorce. But Ryan turned it around, saying that the divorce was all Quaid's fault, and that he had also been unfaithful during their marriage. In the end, Ryan lost Crowe and Quaid, and the movie tanked in the box office. So maybe that's karma. Moving on to number 9, we have Aaron Carter, Hilary Duff, and Lindsay Lohan. Back in the early 2000s, Aaron Carter was quite the heartthrob and ladies' man, catching the hearts of fans and celebrities all around the world. Well, Aaron met Hilary when he guest starred in the Lizzie McGuire Christmas special, if you guys remember that. Smash that like button, cause I do. Then on his 13th birthday, the pair officially began dating. They were together for almost 2 years when he cheated on her with Lindsay Lohan. In fact, he was two-timing her, so he was dating Lindsay and Hilary at the same time. Now this is what Aaron had to say. I started dating Hilary on my 13th birthday. I was dating her for like a year and a half, and then I just got a little bored. So I went and I started getting to know Lindsay, dating Lindsay. Then I didn't want to do that anymore, so I got back with Hilary. And then I ended up cheating on Hilary with her best friend. That's nothing to smile about, she wasn't even that good looking either. End of quote. I didn't just add that in, he also said that. So he literally got bored and was like, sure, let's fool around with other women. Jeez, Aaron. In our 8th spot today, we have Laura Dern, Billy Bob Thornton, and Angelina Jolie. Honestly, people might hate me for saying this, but Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie were a hot couple. I'm sorry. Well, Laura Dern and Billy Bob started dating in 1997 while on the set of Ellen. The couple dated for 3 years and even were engaged. But in 1999, he called it quits, and a year later, he married Angelina Jolie. That one's gotta hurt. According to Dern, she said, and I quote, "I left our home to work on a movie, and while I was away, my boyfriend got married, and I've never heard from him again." That is very harsh.
Number 7. Taylor Swift, Calvin Harris, and Tom Hiddleston. Taylor and Calvin were the golden Pinterest couple in 2015 and seemed to be the perfect pairing as soon as they got together. But all that fell apart just after they celebrated their 1-year anniversary, when Taylor was seen dancing with Tom at the 2016 Met Gala. Soon after, photos were posted of Taylor and Tom kissing in Rhode Island, which shocked the Swiftie fandom. They traveled to Rome and partied together at Taylor's 4th of July party. But things got really messy when Calvin released a song that implied Taylor cheated on him, and then Taylor called him out for not giving her credit on a song that they co-wrote together called This Is What You Came For. Things got even more dramatic when Taylor's 2017 album Reputation came out and featured a song called Getaway Car, which basically says that Tom was her escape route from Calvin. Yikes.
Halfway through the list at number 5 is Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, and Angelina Jolie. Everyone knows the story of this love triangle, but maybe it's been a while for you, so let me refresh your memory. Brad and Jennifer were Hollywood's hottest couple when they started dating back in 1998. After 2 years of dating, they got married in a big $1 million celebration in Malibu. Things were looking up for the couple up until 2005, when Brad started working with Angelina on their movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Rumors quickly spread that Brad was having an affair with Angelina, who continued to deny it until later on. Jennifer and Brad announced their divorce in 2005, and not long after did Angelina and Brad begin dating. That is when Angelina admitted that the two of them fell in love while filming their movie, which would still make Brad a married man at the time. Brangelina then became the new it couple and got married in 2014, but they later got divorced too. There is only one common denominator in both of these failed marriages, and that is you, Brad. In our 4th spot, we have Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, and Rupert Sanders. Now, I don't know if you remember when this drama came out, but I do. And that's because I was a hardcore Twilight fan, and I shipped Kristen and Robert to the moon and back. When I heard she cheated on him, I was so mad at her. Like, she doesn't even know who I was, but I was mad. Anyways, while filming Snow White and the Huntsman, Kristen got with the director Rupert Sanders, and the two were caught kissing in public. Kristen was dating Robert at the time, and Rupert was married to Liberty Ross. Rob and Kristen separated for a bit, then got back together again, only to break up again in 2013, whereas Rupert's wife filed for divorce in 2013.
Number 3. Dua Lipa, FKA Twigs, and Aaron Piper. Dua Lipa shocked fans as she found herself caught up in a love triangle with Netflix star Aaron Piper and fellow singer FKA Twigs. Dua and Aaron first started dating in 2013, but by 2019, their on-again, off-again romance was over for good. The British singer and the model pulled the plug on their 2-year relationship despite doing everything from crisis talks to taking a break to try to salvage it. In between a period of reconciliation, the singer was captured with Aaron in a nightclub while in Madrid. However, things got a little messy when fellow singer FKA Twigs shared a video to her TikTok page of her making out with Aaron just 1 day later, leaving fans completely puzzled. In a TikTok video to promote her new song Killer, the pair were seen entwined and enraptured with each other. Taking to Twitter, fans expressed their shock at the messy situation. And while neither Dua or Aaron have spoken about the videos, the pair could easily just be friends having a good night out together.
In our 3rd spot today, we have Bella Thorne, her brother, brother and another Bella. Bella Thorne's brother, Remy Thorne, was dating a girl named Bella Pendergast for 3 years. The pair broke up around 2015. Bella Thorne was dating Greg Sulkin, and when she broke up, she quickly came out as bisexual on her Twitter. A little while later, she was spotted with her brother's ex being a little too close. They shared a number of photos holding hands and kissing, and people were like, is she seriously dating her brother's ex? And yes, the answer is yes, she did. But shortly after, Bella Thorne decided to go after Greg Sulkin's friend, Tyler Posey. Then a month later, she dumped him and was with Charlie Puth. And don't get me started with the whole Tana Modson relationship, okay? That's a whole other mess on its own. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Olivia Wilde, Jason Sudeikis, and Harry Styles. Now, I must be living under a bus because I love Jason Sudeikis, but I did not know that he was engaged to Olivia Wilde. The pair first met in 2011 and began dating a few months later. In 2012, they got engaged, and in 2014 and 2016, they gave birth to 2 children. But in 2020, the pair announced that they had split. A few months later, Olivia was spotted with Harry Styles after attending a wedding together. They both met during the movie Don't Worry Darling, and some believe that Styles might be one of the reasons as to why the two split. One source said, and I quote, Olivia called off the engagement in early November, but only after she had already gotten close to Harry. The source continued on saying, whether Harry knows it or not, he was the reason for the split, and it blindsided Jason. Starting off the list at number 10 is the triangle between Ariana Grande, Big Sean, and Naya Rivera. You might already know this sticky situation since it made headlines back in 2014, with Naya getting a front row seat to watch the triangle unfold. Big Sean and Naya were together from March 2013 until April 2014 and were even engaged and happily planning their wedding, or so it seemed. The rapper called off the wedding and claimed that it was just because of Naya's jealousy issues. But Naya claims that he was giving her reasons to be jealous, and she caught him red-handed. She told Us Weekly, we'd been fighting for 5 days straight while he was traveling, and then on the one day that he was back in LA, he said he didn't want to see me. Well, I've got a key to your house. I walk in, I go downstairs, and guess what little girl is sitting cross-legged on the couch listening to music? It rhymes with Shmeriana Shmonde. Her words, not mine. The worst part is that Naya found out about their split through Big Sean's publicist, who issued a statement that the wedding was off. She said she learned that she wasn't getting married from the internet and at the same time as the rest of the world found out. How messed up is that? Ariana and Sean did end up dating after that, but split only 8 months later. Up next at number 9 is Justin Bieber, Miranda Kerr, and Orlando Bloom. Do you guys remember that time that Orlando punched Justin in the face? I feel like that was so underrated and people forgot about it way too fast. Let me refresh your memory. The altercation took place in a restaurant in Ibiza when the two of them ran into each other. The only reason they had beef was because Orlando was married to Victoria's Secret model Miranda Kerr, who was reportedly sending flirty texts to Justin. Paparazzi caught pictures of Justin and Miranda looking all cozy while hanging out after the 2012 Victoria's Secret fashion show. One photo showed her kissing him on the cheek. She denied every allegation that they were more than just friends, but that didn't stop Bloom from having some anger towards the Biebs. Eyewitnesses tell TMZ about the fight, which happened in Cipriani restaurant, which was apparently packed with celebs at the time. The fight was caught on tape, as you can see Orlando throwing the first fist, but you can hear Justin scream, "What's up?" kind of asking for it. After leaving the restaurant, Justin threw gasoline on the fire by posting this picture of Miranda on his Instagram. And then, after the backlash, he ended up deleting it. Sliding into the number 8 spot is Taylor Swift, Joe Jonas, and Camila Bell. Joe and Taylor were one of the music industry's cutest couples back in 2008. They first got together in July and ended in October after Joe ended it with a 27-second phone call. We only know this because Taylor shared the story on The Ellen Show in a big drop-the-bomb moment.
I'm not even going to be able to remember the boy who broke up with me over the phone in 25 seconds when I was 18.
And the only reason she knew it was 27 seconds is because her call log literally said the call was a total of 27 seconds. So the breakup was probably like 25 seconds. Not long after the breakup, Joe was seen hanging around Camila Bell, and Taylor revealed to Us Weekly that she was the reason why they broke up in the first place. So what does Taylor do after a breakup? She writes a song, of course. She admitted that her song Forever and Always was about Joe, but also showed fans that she doesn't only write songs about the ex-boyfriend. Her song Better Than Revenge was geared towards the actress, and the lyrics were pretty harsh. She sang, I quote, "She's not a saint, she's not what you think, she's an actress. She's better known for the things she does on the mattress." Boom. Mic drop.
Moving on to number 7, we have Alex Rodriguez, Kate Hudson, and Cameron Diaz. Now this dude has dated all the stars, I swear, like Madonna, J-Lo, come on now. Anyways, Kate Hudson and A-Rod dated for 7 months before calling it quits in December of 2009. Just a few months later, Cameron Diaz was seen leaving his house with overnight bags. You guys know what that means. And according to sources, Hudson was not happy with this at all. Maybe this was payback for Hudson hooking up with Cameron's ex-boyfriend, Justin Timberlake, shortly after they broke up. Who knows? But in 2012, it seems like they got over this drama because they were quite chummy with each other at the Academy Awards. In 2013, Diaz referred to Hudson as one of her good friends.
Swiping the number 6 spot is Britney Spears, Kevin Federline, and Shar Jackson. Kevin was dating Shar, who was actually his fiance at the time, and was pregnant with their second child together. They were playing family and seemed happy doing it, but in 2004, Kevin left the relationship for pop sensation Britney Spears. After only 5 months of them dating, they were married and soon became pregnant with their first child together. They were married for 2 years from 2004 to 2006 and had 2 sons together. What was so messy about the situation was that Kevin got together with Britney while Shar was pregnant with his child, so people were obviously slamming him all over the media. Any attention the new couple got was negative attention. Shar commented on the relationship and said, "It wasn't like just breaking up a relationship, it was like breaking up a family." She went on to get her revenge by working hard in silence and created her own cosmetic line called Relation Lips, with the first lip gloss named He Cheated. You go, girl. Well, let me buy one of those lip glosses.
Number 5. Orlando Bloom, Miranda Kerr, and Justin Bieber. Now, this one is really strange. Orlando and Miranda were married from 2010 to 2013, and even share a son together, Flynn, who was born in January of 2011. Things were going really well for the couple when rumors swirled about a hookup between Miranda and Justin Bieber at a 2012 Victoria's Secret after party. And coincidentally, the pair filed for divorce in 2013. While at a restaurant in Ibiza, Bloom and Bieber bumped into each other, and the pop star made some crude comments about Miranda from across the restaurant. Bloom stormed over and punched him just before the singer was surrounded by bodyguards and appeared to cower away from the confrontation. Bieber then took to Instagram to post a photo of Bloom wiping his eyes, trying to insinuate that he lost the fight. Everything escalated so quickly and egos were being bruised left and right. Safe to say, this whole thing was one big heated mess.
Here we are at number 4 with Kristen Cavallari, Stephen Colletti, and Lauren Conrad. All my Laguna Beach and the Hills fans will know this one off the top of their heads and might even be a little emotional about it still. If you haven't seen either of these reality shows, one of the major plotline stories was the love triangle between the 3 of them. Kristen and Stephen were dating, and Lauren was a friend of Stephen's, which Kristen was not a fan of. We never knew if the show was real or fake, which made fans question if the love triangle was even real. But Kristen opened up to BuzzFeed almost 10 years later and confirmed that it was very much real. When asked if she actually had a rivalry with Lauren, she said, "We were never friends, we just weren't. I didn't hate her before MTV came, and that's what it sort of turned into. And that's because I felt like she was trying to steal my boyfriend." But the show was to blame for that because they did keep scheduling scenes where Stephen would be around Lauren and they'd be forced to hang out with each other. So the love triangle never even had a chance of being worked out because it was all on a reality TV show. In the end though, neither girls ended up with Stephen. And for anyone wondering, I was Team Lauren.
In our 3rd spot today, we have David Spade, Laura Flynn Boyle, and Jack Nicholson. This is a very odd trio, but apparently Jack Nicholson stole David Spade's girlfriend, Laura Flynn Boyle, from him in 1999. According to him, that's what happened. They have been dating for a year when Jack literally asked her out in front of David. Now, David got all defensive, being like, "I know you're gonna go out with him anyway." And she was like, "No way, he's worse than Trump." Like, no lie, that's what she said. But in the end, the two were spotted together. Actually, they got in a car crash together, and apparently Boyle climbed out of the sunroof and yelled, "I have a boyfriend, I can't be here." But she was caught, like literally red-handed.
In spot number 2 is John Mayer, Katy Perry, and Taylor Swift, another love triangle of the century that only came about because of the feuding between the girls. The rival between the two singers was no secret. I mean, Taylor made up an entire song and music video about it called The Bad Blood. No one ever understood why they hated each other so much, but it was always said that they fought over backup dancers. Apparently they shared some of the same dancers, or they wanted them on their tours at the same time, whatever, first world problems. But because they both dated John Mayer, it seemed to add some extra fuel to the fire. Even though they dated John a few years apart, it didn't matter because that's how long the ongoing feud was between the girls. Taylor and John dated in 2009, so you can imagine how unimpressed she was to learned that her ex was now dating her enemy later on in 2012. Good news is we saw the girls finally end their battle this year in 2019 when they hugged it out in Taylor Swift's new music video, You Need to Calm Down. Taking the #1 spot is Kourtney Love, Kurt Cobain, and Billy Corgan. Kourtney Love and Kurt Cobain will always be considered one of rock and roll's most iconic couples, but they first got together when she was with another famous rocker. She was originally dating Billy Corgan from the band The Smashing Pumpkins in the early 90s. She revealed during an interview that the two of them broke up because Corgan wouldn't pay for her to fly home after a show. His band was playing shows with Nirvana at the time, so she ended up staying with the Nirvana band members after her fight with Corgan. And that is when she got involved with Cobain. She immediately began dating him, and they were married from 1992 to 1994 when they welcomed their daughter into the world in August 1992. Kourtney later admitted that their daughter was conceived on a night she was supposed to see Billy. Let's just say that she's never been really shy at spilling the details on this whole love triangle.